Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Hey, what is up, my friends? Welcome back to another video. Why'd you giggle? What did you just snicker about?
No idea.
2,000 years later.
Hey, what is up, my friends? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm here with my mom, and we have a little bit of a different video for you guys. I know about 2 videos ago I did a Q&A where I kind of spoke about my perspective and how I felt about certain things about fighting. And so what we'll be doing today is another Q&A, but this time around it'll be from my mom's perspective, how she feels, how she, the anxiety that she goes through for watching me fight, and get to see fighting from a motherly standpoint. If you do like this video, go ahead and drop a like on it. It does help. Let me know what you guys do and don't like. Also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Any future suggestions for videos and everything like that, drop that in the comment section and let's get into it. Okay, so the very first question comes from Justin, and he wants to know, when did you accept the fact that Tyler wanted to fight, and how hard was it for you to come to terms with it?
He started training when he was 8 years old. I think I signed him up. And for his 10th birthday, I took him to his first UFC fight in Las Vegas. And I think that I saw his love for it then. Of course, through those years, he would always say, "Mom, I'm gonna be a fighter, Mom, I'm gonna be a fighter." But I knew I didn't really have to think about it until he was 18, and that was so far away until it wasn't. And coming to terms with it was just because I saw how much he loved it. And eventually I realized it was just a part of him. So as hard as it is, and it's hard, I couldn't deny him from something that's a part of him and something that he loves. So I had to not be selfish and realize this really wasn't about me.
All right, and our next question comes from Cody. Cody wants to know, would you rather me be aggressive and, risk getting a little bit more hurt, but also get maybe a quicker finish or more stoppages? Or would you rather me be a little bit more defensive and be a little elusive, avoid damage, but also maybe not get those finishes in those quick fights?
Whew. Thanks, Cody. Every time he's preparing for a fight, about 5 days before the fight, we actually just quit talking about it, he and I. But one of the last conversations, all 3 times, has been me saying, "Okay, make it easy on me, finish this fight in 0.2 seconds, get this over with, by whatever means necessary." And in the first fight, he was like, "No, all my training wouldn't be worth it if I just go in there and the fight's over in 2 seconds."
Yeah.
So.
Oh, how times have changed.
It's much different conversations now.
Yeah. I want those 1 seconds.
Thinking about it though, if he went in there and he played it safe, win or lose at the end, he would regret it.
Yeah.
I know him.
That's true.
And that's not what he's training for. I mean, of course, he wants to win every fight, but he's training to fight.
Right.
So I don't think I'd want him to play safe. I don't want him to get damaged, but I want him to play safe.
Right.
But I'd like it to be over fast.
Yeah. I do remember that.
I don't know if that's a real answer, but it's all I got.
Yeah. I remember that, coming up to the first fight, I was like, nah, man, imagine I trained for 2 months just for this to be over with in 10 seconds and I don't get any, satisfaction from fight. Dude, when I go in there now, I want to get in and I want to get out. I got stuff to do. So it's no. My first fight went to decision, and I guess that kind of gave me all the want I needed to go the whole 9 minutes. But if I can get in there in 10 seconds and just be done, dude, that's the move. That's the move. All right, so the next question for you. What is your least favorite part about the entire fight process, from me finding out about the fight to weight cutting to fighting to the aftermath? What's your least favorite part of that, and what's your most favorite part of that?
Wow. My least favorite part, besides the fact that you're going to get in a fight.
True.
My least favorite part is that for me, it defies the laws of motherhood. I'm supposed to protect him and keep him safe. and he's going out there and he's getting in a fight, and it's dangerous. Every part of it is dangerous. And I can't stop him. I can't help him. I can't.
On the other side of a cage.
I have to cheer for him to do something dangerous. And I have to listen to other people cheer against him. That's weird. Yeah, it's weird to sit down and hear somebody say, knock him out. And like, that's my baby. You know, it's just weird. That it just feels like it defies being a mom. My favorite part, I've been a fan of MMA for forever. So I love watching the sport. My favorite part is just how passionate he is about it. Even on his bad days of training, he still loves it. And to watch him walk out and to watch him get in that cage and know, like, oh my gosh, we go through so much during training camp, during change of opponent, during weight cut, oh my goodness. And to know that he showed up and his opponent showed up and they made weight and they're gonna go in there and they're both doing something that they love. And it takes so much courage to go in there and do that. So, you know, so I think just his passion, I think that's my favorite part. I love the sport, but I love how much he loves it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, even on my days, like, where I really don't want to go, knowing how grueling it can be on our bodies, like, she knows how passionate I am about it just in general. So even on the days I don't want to go, she's like, get your ass up and go train. You know what I mean? Like, we're not sitting in here, you know what I'm saying, just playing Xbox all day. Like, get up and go to the gym. So for sure, like, she definitely supports every single, you know, part of the process. And it's truly a blessing to have her be such a supportive person in something that's this insane and grueling. It can be so nasty sometimes.
Yeah, the emotions.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question actually comes from my coach, Coach Aaron, and he wants to know, what was the most anxious part of Cajuns versus Cowboys for you? And I will let you guys know, so Cajuns versus Cowboys was an event that we held last November, and it was like a private charity event for one of the like local charity foundations. So what they had was like, it was closed to the public for the most part, kind of. It was like a black tie event, a bunch of businessmen, and they had 7 guys from Texas and 7 guys from Louisiana, and we like all fought. Like a Louisiana guy would fight a Texas guy. It was a little bit of a Texas versus Louisiana competition, and my gym actually took like part in that, and like 4 or 5 of our guys went out there and we fought.
Ooh, Aaron, that was a weird one. Not the question, the fight. When he came in and told me about the event, and it was a private event, initially I wasn't going to be able to be there for him.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And I'd always promised him that I would be there, you know, and thinking Dallas felt like a million miles away when I thought about him fighting and me not being there. The unknown, you know, what if something happens and I'm not there?
True. True. Get hurt.
And what about when he wins and I don't get to see him celebrate? You know, that. So I think that part was the hard part. And knowing that I wasn't going to have my friends, or I wasn't going to have our family, I wasn't going to have that. I had my daughter, thankfully, and we had Aaron's wife. She was so calming through that whole thing. Yeah. So I think that made, you know, I was able to watch his team, some of his teammates, coaches, the people who put the event on came through, and I was able to watch. I was able to watch him. So thankfully, but that was the hardest part.
Yeah. That was just such a weird fight in general. Just like from like 6 or 7 different opponents, just going back to back to back to back. I mean, they were staying in that fight for like 2 days at a time and backing out, and then thinking like, man, what if something crazy happens and I'm over there, you know, kind of alone without my family? Because every kickboxing fight I've had, we've come to Houston, or we went to Houston, and we had jiu-jitsu tournaments since I was 13.
Yeah.
And they've always been there. And so I've never really experienced, like, I don't know, fighting without them or fighting kind of without my main support group. And so just the thought of all that, too, I forgot completely that y'all weren't supposed to go at first. That's weird. That would have been really
Then when we saw his opponent, he was so experienced.
Dude was
so
fighting
good.
his 9th fight. He was like 5-3, I think, at the time. And champion of a few different like organizations. It That was weird. I completely
Yeah.
forgot about all that.
It ended up being such a great event. Look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, we're actually going back in November.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
true,
wow.
by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
And so do another little Cajuns versus Cowboys. Hopefully the Cajuns won
The
last
Cajuns
time.
won. Yeah.
Yes, we
Yes,
did.
go Cajuns.
We're gonna do it again. All right, our next question comes from a friend of mine, James, and James wants to know, if we could go back in time, would you try to, sway me away from the sport at all? Maybe even before I ever got into it. Like, knowing what you know now, would you go back and try to push me away from it? Maybe try football, basketball again. Basketball didn't go well, by the way, or anything like that. Like, would you try to sway me into a different, sports category?
No.
That's a surprise to me.
No. I always told him that he was going to do something, because I think sports or organizations, they teach you things that you can't really learn anywhere else. So he wasn't going to just be sitting in the house. So he was going to do something, and I let him try things out. And some worked better than others.
Basketball just did not go well, by the way. Just future reference.
But no, the answer is no. If I could change one thing, it would be when we moved to Lafayette, his coach, the owner of the academy he was training at, tried to encourage him to wrestle. And he came home really weird one day, I guess after they had this conversation, and I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was a great idea, especially, if you could see the future and know, I think it would have been very beneficial for him.
Yeah.
But he put up a valid point that day. Yeah. He was just adamant he wasn't doing it. And I couldn't understand why. And here he was. We'd come from a small town where his whole class probably had 80 people in the class. And here he was in a freshman class of 1,100.
Yeah, huge.
And, he's nerdy. And he was like, Coach wants me to join the high school wrestling team. And I was like, oh, that's great. It's a great idea. Get him involved in school and, fast forward, it's going to help him. I'm not doing it. There's nothing you can say that is going to make me do it. And I'm like, why not? He probably, at that point, he probably weighed 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm the new kid here. I'm the new kid at the school. I'm a nerd. I'm gifted. You think I'm about to go in front of the school in volleyball tights? Look what I look like. And I was like, oh, kind of has a little bit of a point. And he was so shy. He would have never done it.
No.
He'd have to have the mind that he has now.
Right.
To go back in time for me to be able to change him. So if I could have helped encourage him to do anything, I probably should have worked harder with his coach at that time and tried to persuade him into high school wrestling.
Yeah. But
aside from that, I never wanted to force them to do something that they just didn't love.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I would have wrestled, just especially knowing what I know now. It definitely would have been beneficial. But I think gladly I did keep training as much as I was, because it's not like I just skipped 4 years of everything in general.
Right.
But no, wrestling would have been cool. I'd go back and wrestle if I could now, but because I don't care. I have no shame at this point. But I understand why past me didn't want, because it was bad. Guys, it was bad. I was like a little stick bug.
He was funny as about
Oh man, it'd been weird. And our last question comes from my Aunt Mary Jo, and she wants to know, where are you mentally on fight day? How do you handle it? How's that experience?
Oh gosh, I'm a wreck. I go through so many emotions. I'm glad it's here. I can't wait for it to be over. The excitement, the anxiety. I'm all over.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place. I try to keep busy. I try to keep my mind somewhere else. I try to keep him occupied. Just go through it all. But I'm just all over the place. And the weird thing is, I don't know if this makes sense outside of my head, but I watch the fight, but I don't actually see the fight. I really have no idea what happens until I go back and watch it on a video.
Yeah, you do watch it through a little camera.
And I watch it through my camera. It almost feels like maybe it's not so real. Like I watch it through my phone. Mm-hmm. But all over the place. Thankfully, I always have, most of the time, have people around who, you know, do their best to distract me, and I let them think it's working, but it really isn't.
Fight day is for sure probably one of the weirdest days, because it's like, it's such a mixture of emotions that you almost just go numb to everything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And it's such a big anticipation, because you know, tonight's either going to be really fun or suck really bad, and you have no idea which one it's going to be. Especially like waiting before we go to the arena and stuff, just sitting kind of like on the couch, just no one's talking to each other, just like.
And for me, having to watch the fights, I have a really good friend named Stacy, and Stacy says, I wish I would never watch the fights that happen before his. Because if someone before him takes a lot of damage, or they're all bloody, or they get knocked out, then you're like, oh my God, that can really happen. And reality starts kicking in. So it's so many emotions.
It's weird too, because like in my first fight I was on like the 9th fight, so you have to sit through 8 different fights, and those were crazy fights.
Those were super crazy fights.
Dang.
My daughter's usually sitting right next to me, and she's so numb to it.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, he chose this. We're gonna deal with it when it comes. And I'm like, what would I do if I could just be like her?
Yeah, really.
But you know, that's how I feel watching everybody else fight.
Yeah.
But with him, it's so many emotions. I think at some point when he's ready, and I see him maybe that last time, like
when I come to the crowd.
think about that 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, he looks 5 to me again, and I have to remember. But then when he walks in the cage, I'm like, who is that? You know, he looks mean. Like, who is that? So yeah, I go through a million emotions.
Yeah. Alright guys, and that will serve as the end of this video. Thank you, Mom, for coming on answering some questions. I know that was definitely a little different. You know, you always sometimes you get to see the fight game from another perspective, like a fighter's perspective. But I haven't really ever got to see like how mobs think about it, and I know that's definitely something that's not super known out there. So I definitely appreciate it, you know, coming on. I know it's a super emotional, grueling thing to watch sometimes, but hey, we make it work. We make it work. If you did like that video, drop a like on it for me. It definitely does help. If you have any suggestions for future videos, maybe some more that we can do, maybe reacting to some of my fights. I have lots of kickboxing fights and other footage like that to watch. So we got some content from that for sure. And if you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to me, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.